extension line's caught in a fence that's in the water.
Do not touch the fence.
Reporting live with another update on we filed a lawsuit against our neighbors. If you missed the last part, it's up here on the screen. Watch it.
Today, because of the help of you guys, we're able to put our own boat launch alongside the fence, so the fence is no longer an issue to us. After all, it wasn't her idea that we had a public beach out here. Well, we are officially put in our boat launch.
Shut up. Oh my God. Oh my God, look at this mess. I just know Bridget is about to lose her goddamn mind.
Over the weekend, we started working on our carport, redoing some things and just fixing some rotten wood and whatnot. And it's a carport that's not attached to our home. It's separate from our home. It's kind of more on the riverside of our area of our property. And because my husband owns a renovation company, he was able to get some of the guys who works for him to help us. But we got rained out over the weekend. It rained all weekend. And today, my husband said, go ahead and just finish the carport, that we can get that done and knocked out. And I was leaving to go to lunch today and happened to see somebody, one of my neighbors, peeking their heads around the bush to try to see what we were doing, or try to see what the crew was doing, I guess. And at first I thought maybe I was just seeing things and whatever, just got in my car. But as I back out of my driveway to go to lunch,
Bridget is always lurking. Bridget is always watching.
I see her and her husband are peeking around the pole to their house to see what the crew is doing at our house. So this is a message to the neighbors. I saw you and your husband peeking around, and it gave me a pretty good laugh, actually. I'm sure we'll have code enforcement here at our house in the next few days, because I'm sure that's what they were doing. But it gave me a good laugh. It makes me want to go get one of those big
100%.
tarps and put it up and put mind your own business. So they can't see what we're doing, and they should mind their own business. Because it's on the side of our carport that they can't see unless they legitimately, I guess, peek. And I guess they couldn't see it from their cameras, so they had to come outside this time. Anyhow, pretty good laugh. I'll keep you updated if code enforcement shows up.
Raise your hand if you think Bridget is not gonna say a word about this new boat launch project they got going on. I'm waiting for people to show up any day now.
The other day I was running in my neighborhood, and on the way back from my run, I see my neighbor blowing her leaves out of her driveway and out of her yard. And as I get closer, I have to pass her house to get to my house. And I thought to myself, please, please, please do not blow these leaves on me. But to my surprise, she did not. She turned her blower off and waved at me as if her and I are best friends.
Oh.
And okay, just keep listening. I already know what you're thinking.
Oh.
But so what do? I wave back. Now, that's just out of habit or being friendly or being normal that I wave back. And I think to myself, shoot, why is she waving at me? Why is she trying to be friendly now after trying to press charges on my 13-year-old for fishing and boating and taking us to court twice and so on and so forth? Why is she waving to me as if nothing had happened? So fast forward to yesterday, I'm doing yard work in my yard, and the daughter pulls up in her car. I'm standing towards the end of my driveway, and she waves at me.
Maybe they're trying to be friends so that they can get on the in with all the renovations and projects they're working on. They're like, maybe if we kill them with kindness, we'll find out all these details and then we'll backstab them with all the crazy shit we're gonna throw at them. That's my guess.
So what I naturally would do is wave back, and I did. And then she flips me off. So now I'm like looking behind me to see if maybe she was waving to somebody else and thought I was being sarcastic or something.
The daughter flipped you off?
But here's my point. My point is, I know you guys are thinking this is so silly. You're talking about whether your neighbors are waving to you or not, or they wave to you, and whether or not you should wave back. And you're right. It's stupid. It's so dumb that I have to worry about these types of things because my neighbor has harassed me for 3 years and has done all these things to us, and now suddenly wanting to wave to us as if she's our best friend. And then the daughter waves to me, and it's just all a mess. But I don't have proof of this because my cameras don't point directly at her house like hers does mine.
If her daughter is the one that flipped you off, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, clearly.
I just received our HOA newsletter, and it announced that December 14th is going to be our annual membership meeting. What does that mean and why is it so important? Well, that's the day that we get to vote any new members onto our HOA board and or members step down at this time. And it has been announced that our HOA board president is stepping down, as well as 2 other members of the board. So far, there are 5 people who have put their name in the hat to potentially be elected, and I will be sure to attend this meeting to put my vote in and give my opinion. And sorry to disappoint, but my name is not one of those names on the list, as that would be a conflict of interest and something that I personally wouldn't want to deal with anyway.
Is Bridget's name on the list, or her husband?
As I already have to deal with name or drama on a regular basis. In addition to our HOA president stepping down, we also had some big changes for our parish councilmen recently. As this is an election year for a lot of our local officials, and they've made some major changes. So I'm hoping that's going to be some help to me and my family.
This could change the outcome of this entire situation. We're going to have to see.
Here's what the judge had to say.
You're telling me I finally get to see what the judge actually said? Shut up.
Our attorney is asking for an involuntary dismissal of the restraining order due to lack of evidence. He basically says, look, there's no evidence of damages. There's nothing to support their claims. So we would like to ask for an involuntary dismissal of the restraining order. And then their attorney is like, wait. This is why we think we need one. Their attorney says, look, Mr. Judge, she's on TikTok saying that they want to act and engage in violence. And she's supporting the comments that are being made on this TikTok. And that is one of the reasons we need this injunction, is because my clients are fearful of her now. Here is the TikTok that they're referencing.
But, girl, I see the police are out there again. What is it this time? Give her an uppercut. Do they arrest her? Girl, I would not.
And then their attorney also said, oh, and she also tried to threaten my client with her car. And my attorney's like, whoa, wait, where's this coming from? That's never happened. Show me proof of that. When did this happen? Etc., etc. So the judge is like, okay, listen. There's no evidence of this. Yes, I am granting the involuntary dismissal of the restraining order, and he's going to go down the list of items that they claimed we were doing and address those individually. So you'll see that here, and the underline is, I underlined a few things. Sorry, it looks a little kindergartenish, but it is important things. The judge basically says, look, I haven't seen any evidence of there being any harassment except in their own minds.
Except in their own minds. Literally, like, does she not get she's doing this all to herself? There could be no issues. There really could be absolutely no issues.
Then he talks about the river here, which is probably one of the most important parts because it addresses the trespassing part and the reason why they weren't able to get us on trespassing, because we are not trespassing. But you'll see here that he talks about the river specifically. And then I underline that important part. I'm going to tell you right now, that's not your water directly behind your house. That belongs to all of us.
There it is.
He basically says, look, I was listening to you very intently. I see your concern. She hasn't defamed you. She hasn't named your names. But if she had, I could see there would be a concern. And here we talk about the famous Be Gone cup. And the judge basically says, it made me think of the cup that Mrs. Me is trying to sell online. If it had her name on it, then there might have been something. It might have been something different. But it's pretty vague. And it's not referring to her. And their attorney tries to say, that's what I was going to say within the context, and it's pretty plain. And the judge is like, not really. So there you have it. The neighbors try to say that the judge basically reamed us the whole time, tried to give us a hard time the whole time, but there it is in black and white.
I mean, a judge can literally look them in the eyes and say, ma'am, I'm going to tell you right now that water is not yours, and they will still sit there and fight and believe that that water is theirs. Cuckoo bonkers. That's what that is. On that note, let's cheers, because I have a headache from this story, to be honest. Take a sip of water. It's good for you. I care. It's my water. I own this water. Cheers.
Last night was our HOA board meeting. I don't typically attend the board meetings, but last night I made sure to attend because I wanted to discuss the tree limb incident and how now I feel my neighbors are harassing us through the HOA. I wanted to know what type of policies and procedures they had in place for complaints like this, because had the HOA president took the time to come by my home to see if the tree limbs were indeed an issue, he would have saw that I was still in the process of cutting limbs. Instead, he just took the neighbor's word for it. And I know this is a very unique situation, but that's what makes policies and procedures so unique, right? When unique situations happen, things are put into place. However, it turned heated because he had the audacity to look at me and say he didn't really care what I thought.
Okay, these people have to have ins. You know what I mean? Bridget and her husband, they gotta have ins with some of these people, or someone might be getting paid under the table, because I don't know.
And let me tell you, another board member laid into him regarding this. All I can say is if I'm ever in a fight, I want her on my side. And another member said
maybe
that
I'm
he was
wrong.
aware that we were being singled out by our neighbors and that he knew this was an ongoing problem. I was also blown away to know that all the HOA board members were not aware of the type of communication that was going on between the neighbors and the HOA board, because the president himself was the one making these decisions and not bringing it to the actual board themselves. However, I did learn that the neighbors are so adamant in the fact that this fence is going to remain there that they said even if the judge himself told them to take it down, they're going to appeal it, and they're going to take it all the way to the Supreme Court. I seriously can't make this stuff up, guys.
They're crazy. The Supreme Court, they have bigger issues to deal with than your stupid fence. Like, at what point do you just let your ego go?
Imagine living next door to someone who has a high-end position in the military, who has a position in the military that you should trust them because they serve the people and they protect us. Imagine living next door to somebody who has a high-end position in the corporate world. These same people, you speak to them, they seem kind, caring, nice family. But what you don't know and what you don't see is that these same people, in my opinion, are hateful, cruel individuals.
Wait, so they do have some type of, I don't know what the word would be, like superiority? Maybe even in their own mind, but they do have some ins in the community. Interesting.
They will do anything to prevent children from fishing and boating. They will do anything to win. They will do anything to stop the kids from playing outside. Because in my opinion, they don't like children. In my opinion, they put up a spite fence in the river.
I like that she's wording it, in my opinion. Because in legal cases, she's not saying they don't like children. She's saying, in my opinion.
Allegedly.
That's a little way around that.
So never judge a book by its cover. Because that person who you think you should respect because they have a high-end position in the military or they have a great position in the corporate world and appear to be nice may not be what you think.
Maybe because of their positions, that's where this entitlement is coming from. What did it look like before digging and before the fence? I've always wanted to see this. Look at those pictures. Oh, dream property. Look how beautiful. Yeah, it's literally out of a movie. Oh, come on. This is our property he is fishing from. This is our property he is standing on. Thank you for clarifying. Come on. Oh. made me even angrier because it was so truly beautiful before.
Some of you have had questions as to whether or not us digging changed how much water was in or around the fence, and the answer is no. There has always been water around the fence. There was recently time where it was so low, the river was so low because of a drought, there was hardly any water on our side. Now, some of you mentioned, oh, but when you dug, there was dry dirt. Correct. We waited till the water was as low as possible to dig so we could see where we were digging. But let me show you something. You see how we have there no water? Well, when we dug, the guy who dug put a wall almost around where the water would be coming in to stop it from coming in as he dug, so he could see how deep he was going, where the fence was, so we didn't dig into her land, and make sure that we knew where we were digging the whole time. After he was finished digging, then right there, let me bring myself up here, right there, he let the wall go and all the water started coming in. So obviously, as you can see, if he had not done that, all that water over here would have been coming in. And that's why you see us digging dry dirt, was because we put up that wall to prevent the water from coming in while we were digging. And again, you can see it on that side over there. So as we were digging, we were pushing it back and making that wall so it wouldn't come in as we were digging.
This is genius to take photos and videos of everything, because you know she's going to bring this to somebody and claim all sorts of things.
As you may know, we've had a ton of rain in Louisiana in the past few days, and the river has steady been coming up. Now, although it is not as high as it has been in the past, it's still on the high side. And do you notice anything? Do you see a fence? Do you see wires running across the waterway? No? That's because it is almost completely submerged. No trespassing signs, wire, as well as aluminum poles underneath the water.
Anyone with a boat would not see that. That could be so dangerous with the wires. Or for the wires, the fence.
Some want to argue that there's not a significant amount of boat traffic behind the homes. But to me, that shouldn't matter. Safety is safety.
Insane.
And this is completely unsafe. And remember the 2 pieces of bamboo that we talked about earlier? They're completely submerged, as well as the new garden. Again, this is just more of a note to say, hey, the water is completely submerging this new garden that they've put in. It has nothing to do with us using the water. Here's a picture of it as the river was starting to come up. Here's a picture as the river was coming up, or coming up more. And what's this?
Wow.
That wouldn't happen to be mulch or dirt, would it? Man, this water sure is getting wild.
I don't know if I've ever wanted something so badly for someone else in my life. I want that fence removed. I think about it all the time. I really do.
I'm so excited to share that we took a boat ride for the first time since digging our boat launch.
Oh, wow. Oh, it's a little POV. Okay, everyone, put your life jackets on. Let's pretend we're getting in this boat. Oh, there's the fence we know and love. Oh my God, look at this. Beautiful. No wake zone. Be careful. Hello, river. This is unreal. I really feel like I'm there. I wish I was. Invite me. Wow, in between all these trees. On our way back. Oh my God, how are you not hitting any of these trees? Oh, because you gotta go around. That was my favorite part of this entire series. That was fun. Life jacket hung back up.
Around the same time, they added an addition to their flower bed below the high water mark. I made note of it because I wanted to be sure that it was documented that this flower bed was added after we dug our boat launch, and around the time they requested for a no-wake zone to be put in. The flower bed just so happens to be very close to where we launch our boat, and that so that even a ripple would go through that flower bed if the water is high when we launch our boat. So as expected, when the river came up, the flower bed went under.
Wow.
After the river came down the first time, they added more dirt and made it even higher. Yet the river came back up and it went back underwater because it's at the lowest mark of their property near our boat launch. Mm-hmm. And most recently, this guy has detached himself from the flower bed. And it doesn't look like these guys are much further behind
that looks
them.
terrible.
So once again, just here to make note that this guy decided to detach himself. We had not been in the river recently, and so that has nothing to do with us, nor these guys.
But we know that Bridget will try to make it like it was because of your boat launch.
For those of you who are wondering what is going on with my neighbor's garden, I'm here to tell you.
Tell me.
This picture really doesn't do it justice. It really doesn't. The river's come down. Now there's just like sand and a little dirt left. And if you remember that little guy over there in the corner that was trying to escape, she was out there with a stick scooping it up yesterday. And then today, they're over there putting more mulch and dirt in it. I mean, I really feel like I can create a TikTok page just based on my neighbor's garden because this is crazy. It's insane. Because here's the funny thing. Yes, the river is down, but it's coming right back up. I feel like, how does she not know this? If she's ever going to watch any of my TikToks, this is the one she should watch. Because guess what? Hey, the river's coming back up. Stop putting dirt back in your garden because it's just going to leave again. I mean, at this point, I'm really not trying to be ugly. I thought you were smarter than this. Like, I just don't understand why we're still putting dirt and mulch in the garden that's going to go back underwater.
I'm trying to help you. I don't know why she's trying so hard to keep this garden, honestly. Like, you're fighting against nature and water levels. You're not gonna win.
Hey TikTokers, I have a few updates for you. One, first and foremost, the fence. I sent a letter about 2 weeks ago, I guess now, maybe a little less, maybe a little bit more, a letter to the parish saying how dangerous this fence was and how much of a hazard it is to the general public. I was told by our local parish councilman that the parish is not going to change their opinion of the fence, and so the fence is going to remain.
Who's paying the parish? What's happening here?
I don't agree with that decision. I do think it's a very dangerous fence. Again, because it has wire, you can't see it. I wouldn't actually call it maybe a fence, but that's their decision, and so it remains. My personal opinion is, if the neighbors were so worried about their liability side of things because they believe they own the water, which is not true, this right here is more of a liability than anything else that they have said is a liability. Second, the no wake zone. I was also told by the parish councilman that they had decided to go ahead and install the no wake zone sign, even though it can't be regulated or enforced. I also wrote a detailed letter as to why I believe that this no wake sign is just another way or another tool for the neighbors to harass my family. I haven't heard anything back on that. A no wake zone sign has not been installed at this time. I also had the news station reach out to me, as well as a TV show called Neighbor Wars. I'm not sure at this time whether or not I'm going to do either.
Girl, if you do the show, tell me when it airs.
It is mentally exhausting dealing with bad neighbors. It's even more exhausting documenting, reporting things, keeping track of everything that's been going on, fearful that you may end up back in court. So for now, I don't know if I'm going to do the news interview, and I don't know if I'm going to participate in the show, because I refuse to let my neighbors not only harass me, but take my peace. So with that being said, hi, I'm Alicia, aka Boy Mom. Welcome to my new chapter of TikTok, where I don't give a shit if the neighbor calls the police on my children 30 more times until her fingers break. She is not going to take the peace and enjoyment away from my family. And we will continue to live our life and be happy and enjoy this beautiful piece of property that my husband and I worked very hard for.
crazy. However, I would only want to watch the show if I think Bridget should also be on it. I would truly like to hear Bridget's side of things. We're only getting one side of the story. Even if hers is the wrong one, I still want to hear it from her perspective, truly.
Yes, things have been awfully quiet since December. We haven't had any sheriffs at our house and or local authorities.
Just so you guys know, that was December 2023. In case you're getting confused with all these dates, we have made it to the beginning of 2024.
Since December, when she called claiming we stole her dirt. Although I am enjoying the peace and quiet, this is typical. It's winter time. We're not using our boats as much. We are not out and about as much. The weather is cold and it's not as pretty, and we don't fish as much in the cold weather. I'm hoping that with the weather warming up and us being out and about more and the kids getting ready to be out of school, that we can still have some peace and quiet, meaning no police calls at our home, no local authorities showing up over bogus stuff.
That's wishful
I do
thinking.
believe this is going to be the telltale summer because she has done everything she could possibly do to try to get us in trouble. She's fabricated stories. She's called every local authority she can. She's called the sheriff, the wildlife and fishery. I don't have to rehash it all, but you know it. She's called it. So to me, I feel like she's running out of ideas, or has to be running out of ideas. And truthfully, she has made numerous comments about my TikToks to other authorities, local authorities in the sheriff's office and whatnot, saying that when she calls, I document it on TikTok and I'm going to talk about it on TikTok, and she's right. I am going to continue to do that. So if she doesn't like that, then she should stop harassing my family. So hopefully this will be another reason, my TikTok will be another reason for her to just leave us alone and let us live our life. And like I said, so we'll get to see this summer how things go. And of course, I'll keep you guys updated and we'll be documenting everything if anything does occur.
I mean, at least you got a little break over the winter, a little peace and quiet for the holidays. Okay. Oh, all right. So there's a note here. In April, she posted a TikTok that said, I'm taking a break from TikTok. And that was in April of 2024. This next update comes from May 2024. So she took a month off and here we are.
It's the first day of summer. Very first day. The boys are out of school. We're outside working in the yard. And my 14-year-old is fishing from our property line here, and his fishing line got stuck in the fence, so he gets in the hero and tries to untangle it. The neighbor is outside watching. The minute he touches the fence area to get the fishing line off, she starts yelling at him to not touch her fence. Here's the interaction.
Oh my God! I have waited how many videos have I done? 4 videos to actually see in real time a conversation with this lady. Oh my God, I'm so excited right now. This is crazy.
Do not talk to her.
Hey, he's just getting his fishing lure out the fence.
No need to yell at my son. What did you say?
These poor kids.
Please do not talk to my son. His fishing line's caught in a fence that's in the water. He can get it untangled. Do not talk to my son. Do not talk to my son. He will get the fishing line untangled. Did you hear what I said? Did you hear what I said? I think you heard me.
This is how unreasonable of a person she is.
I couldn't. I would need so much therapy to deal with someone like that on a daily basis. I really would.
To put a fence in the water, that again, we've talked about many times, is very dangerous, but also causes issues like this. And then she wants to fuss because she put a fence in the water and doesn't want anybody near the fence that's in the middle of a river.
I can't handle any more summers of this, so I hope that this is resolved by the time we get to today.
If you saw my previous video of my neighbor yelling at my boys for their fishing line getting tangled in the fence that they put in the water, you would know that we're pretty exhausted and irritated. But regardless of all of that, we still were going to enjoy our property for the Memorial Day weekend and had people over and played our music. Even though they were outside in their backyard working, we're not going to let them hinder our fun. So we played music, and then our friends wanted to see the TikToks. So we showed them and played it on a loudspeaker for the entire neighborhood to hear. And of course the neighbor as well, since they were out there working in their yard.
So you got dirt? Yeah, it's dirt. Like all the dirt that was because they were digging. Right. So your complaint is that whoever was excavating or digging stuff up, dug up some of your dirt. Yes. Do you want your dirt back? Yes.
I can't.
Not only did we play music, but we also boated and fished and did everything we like to do.
Insane. Ew. Oh, I want to come. That looks so fun. Bridget, you are pushing this lady past a breaking point here. We've now reached a level of petty, and I am here for it only because Bridget has built an anger inside of me.
Did you know that it's illegal to harass a fisherman or try to prevent a fisherman or boater or hunter from fishing or hunting? According to the statute, no person shall engage in the following activities: disturb any hunter, trapper, or fisherman who is engaged in the lawful taking of a wildlife animal or who is engaged in the process of taking with intent to dissuade or otherwise prevent the taking or to prevent such person's enjoyment of the outdoors. Example violations include, but are not limited to, intimidating someone to leave a fishing spot or brushed fishing hole, motion-activated sounds or water sprinklers or docks to dissuade the public from fishing, or aggressively operating your boat around others actively fishing to persuade them to leave. And did you know if you did these things that you can receive a citation for it? Well, I'm not sure if the neighbor knew this law or not, but it's there.
Oh no.
To protect those who enjoy fishing in the outdoors. And today, the neighbor received a citation for doing just that, for harassing a boater and fisher trying to enjoy the outdoors, trying to dissuade them from enjoying the outdoors, trying to get them to leave, trying to get them to stop doing those things. So today, after 4 years of this going back and forth and things going on, we're finally being heard, and action is finally being taken. I hope this opens their eyes some to realize that these boys are just wanting to enjoy the outdoors, fish, and be kids, and they're not hurting or harming anyone or anything. So we'll see how the things unfold in the future, but hopefully this is something that has opened their eyes to say they're in the wrong.
Oh, I don't think we're going to hear Bridget say she's in the wrong at all in this entire series. Stay classy out there. Stay sassy. I'll see you in the next update because there is more. Bye.